Next is we add another color balance node, which will be used as a colorizing node to sum it up. So let's press Shift A and click color, then color balance node. Then just move this around into the middle here until you see the line highlighted, which is a cool new feature in Blender now, which isn't present in I think 2.64 and the older versions. So yeah, thanks for that cool new feature. So here, our aim here is to just colorize the image as more nightish or bluish, so to speak. So on the shadows part, let's add a tint of blue. Right now though, the backdrop image is not seen very well since these nodes are obscuring my view. So what we have to do here is just press Alt V. V to zoom it out, and I think that's better. So we adjusted the shadows part to be a little bit tinted with blue. Then now is the midtones. Let's just give it a little blue boost too. You can see we're getting more of the nightish look now. Then finally, I'll just push the orange more. So on this highlights area, I'm moving to the orange part and increasing the orange. I think this will do for now. Okay. Next thing is to add another image input, which will be the holder for our dust particles. So pressing Shift A, going to input, then image, just position it here for clarity, then open, then let's browse again to that folder where we have our renders. So here, I'll choose the dust, the transparency, and the EXR file format. So double clicking that will open it here. Okay. We actually don't need to do any color correction on that dust image, so we could simply now hook an alpha over node, by pressing Shift A, going to color, then alpha over node. Move this over here to connect it. So now you see white. Since the default is white here, the white is being alphaed over the original image. So clicking alpha over node, right clicking, select, then shift select the dust particles image and press F. So we see here the effect that it's having now. So the dust particles, which has a transparency, is being overlaid or alpha over to the original image. I think this is it for the two images. So we'll add another image here on part 1. So Shift A, input, image, and position it here again. Then open the image. I wonder why it keeps going here. Doesn't remember my last path. Anyhow, raw. Then this time I'll choose the Halo EXR, but not the transparent one. You'll see why in a second. Okay. If we do a Control Shift and left click on the Halo image here, we can see that this is the render that we had. I have to thank Daniel Kreuter for this tip, since this is actually isn't a cycles render, but it's actually a render from Blender internal. Then it will be composited over later here with the cycles render. So that's quite a neat trick, and I will link you below later on where to check that tutorial by Daniel Carter. One of the comments I got when I submitted the initial render of Luxuscape was that the light beam was either too blue or too white, but then we wanted it a bit having a purplish and pinkish tint, so I resolved that by adding RGB curves. Looking here, we add a color, then RGB curves node, and connecting it here, just beside the halo image. So here, we just have to play with the settings a little bit. What worked for me though was to boost the C channel here, or I think this is the contrast channel, up a bit here to make it brighter. Or I think it was here, yeah. And just bring it up here and here. That should do. Then the red channel I didn't touch, so let's proceed to the green channel. Let's left click to add a new point, then just bring it down a bit. Bring it down. And let's proceed to the blue channel. Bring it up. Let's tweak the green channel a bit. I think this will do for now. Okay, now that we have this set up, what I wanted to do now was to intensify the effect of the dust particles, since if we hook up the viewer node with the dust particles image and change this to solid for now so we can check. Here's how it looks. However, I wanted only to see the part where the beam touches the dust particles right around this area here. However, we'll use the totality of these dust particles later on. And sorry about the quality of the dust particles here. It was only rendered with low samples, I think. Yeah. So to achieve that effect that I mentioned a while back, let's just add a, I think it's color. Yeah, color, then mix node. Then hook it up here. And while the mix node is still active, let's shift select the dust particles input image and press F to connect the two. Then let's change the mix type from mix to multiply. So now you see the effect that I meant a while back. So where the beam was touching the dust particles, this is only the part that is now being processed or so far seen by us viewers. If we change this now, we even get a more exaggerated effect. So let's leave this on the setting. Let's move this here. And finally, for this first part, we'll now connect the dust particles, the halo image, and the raw render together. So we do this by adding another mix node, color, then mix. Then we'll change this to screen and shift select the alpha over node, pressing F, then selecting the screen node again, then selecting the multiply node from a while back, then pressing F. Then we don't actually need to select the viewer node and select the screen here. you could just simply press Ctrl Shift and left click. This one.